Confidently, just
No,
no.
I think that I think that Tank beats him. I mean, if you we haven't seen Frank Martin at the highest level, the elite level.
Confidently, just no, I think that, no, I think that Tank beats him, I mean. We haven't seen Frank Martin at the highest level, their elite level ahead of the fight between Devon Davis and Frank Martin, this Saturday boxing professionals have made their predictions as well. But I think that Frank, what's what he's lacking his experience. That's what he's lacking it, you know. He got to be able to put rounds together. And really, it's not as one-sided as you think in there, just respecting the power and the hype behind Von Davis. Then I believe that it'll be an early night for Frank Martin Tank versus Frank Martin, yeah, good. I mean, it's all right, it's an easy fight for Tank. But Frank Martin's a good little fighter, a pair of undefeated titans. Will go head-to-head for the World Boxing Lightweight World titled Von Tank Davis. Will defend his title an outstanding record against Frank Martin first face forward Yuho Davis. Enters this fight with 29 wins, 0 defeats, and 27 knockouts. It's tough to find a better resume than that he's coming off an impressive 7th-round victory over Ryan Garcia. In April 2023 Saturday will be Martin's first title shot despite an impressive 18-0 record. With 12 knockouts, he's definitely lacking in the power department compared to Davison, who again has had all of his fight in this very ring. You know it's going to help me. And he didn't come in like a rusty fighter in this round. Martin. A look at Martin's unanimous decision victory over Harut Union last summer, and you'll see the Ghost did a nice job of peppering the German boxer with body-head combinations. Moving him around the ring against Davis, Martin should look to unload his offense, and move himself doing so will allow Martin to garner points and remain out of harm's way. Martin cannot afford to get overzealous and lured in by Tank. Often we've seen on tape nice countdown right there stepping into the phone booth and trying to exchange with Davis over several sequences could spell the beginning of the end for Martin, courtesy of Davis's generational knockout power. And that goes back to the first key of landing output and resetting. Also, this is quite easily the biggest fight of Frank Martin's career, as he's never faced a higher profile opponent than Devon Davis. Not being blinded by the bright lights on this stage is key, as is Martin making sure to not overly respect the more seasoned Davis. There we go, all right, perhaps World Boxing Organization super lightweight champion Teofimo Lopez believes Martin could inflict the first defeat of Davis's career. And he explained how in a recent interview with Fight Hub TV, Mia Tank Davis Frank Martin, who you got, how do you see that play now? I think that if Frank Martin goes and presses Tank Davis without showing him any respect, I think if Frank Martin goes and presses Tank Davis without showing him any respect, then we should see a different type of outing. However, if Martin comes in there just respecting the power and the hype behind Von Davis, then I believe it will be an early night for Frank Martin. Then we should see a different type of outing. However, if he comes in there just respecting the power and the hype behind Gervonta Davis, then I believe that'll be an early night for Frank Martin. On the other hand, Davis has the experience advantage, and Martin getting adjusted to the brightest lights and biggest stage of his career bodes well for Tank to touch the Ghost with power early into the fight. And he's become a one-handed fighter that right-handy stand Tank Davis. Doing so could thwart Martin, or at least make him think twice of trying to exchange with Davis. Putting Tank in control, Martin sometimes abandons a tight guard. If Harut Union was able to sneak in a right uppercut, just imagine what Davis could do with this same weapon if landed. This guy don't have no fundamental at all. All he's relying on is a weak ass hook. That's it, that's all he relying on is a hook that's all no defense, no nothing, no footwork. The shot right up the middle could wreak havoc on Martin. If he's not cautious, sensing an overzealous and overaggressive Martin creates an opening for Davis to measure him with counterpunches, left uppercut. With 27 of his 29 career victories, coming by the way of Knockout Davis being a knockout artist, is given major attention and rightfully so, but he also has tremendous boxing skills. His ability to counter-punch from his 5'5" frame is keep the way he ducked under Ryan Garcia's left hook to detonate a compact counter left of his own for a knockdown, before knocking him out in April 2023. Prior to that, in May 2022, Tank ate a crunching body shot from Rolando Romero, only to blast Raleigh with a vicious counter left to the face for the knockout. Good, he seems kind of awkward. But in this fight, he's not AIG. I knew that was all about being patient and responding to a Martin miscalculation might be all Davis needs to secure his 30th pro victory. And given Davis's longevity, unprecedented power, and proven track record in title matches, most people aren't giving Martin much of a chance. Tank versus Frank Martin, yeah, good. I mean, all right, it's an easy fight for Tank. Eddie Hearn feels Davis has made a smart choice by selecting an opponent against whom victory is guaranteed. On that note, Eddie Hearn said, I mean, yeah, it's all right, it's an easy fight for Tank. Also speaking to Fight Hype, the chairperson of Matchroom, who held Canelo Alvarez responsible for Garcia versus Haney taking place in NYC, also added, but Frank Martin is a good little fighter. Thought Frank Martin's a good little fighter, don't think he's going to do mad numbers. But however, Hearn concluded, saying, I don't think he's going to do mad numbers. But yeah, it's a good fight. Hopefully Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin will have a good fight. And hopefully following the match against Martin, Tank will eventually face Devin Haney. In a recent interview with Devin Haney, he expressed his doubts on Frank's ability to upset Tank Davis in the coming fight, despite the claims from Frank on knocking Davis confidently. Just I think that No, I think that Tank beats him. I mean, Haney revealed that he expected Tank Davis to give Frank Martin a beating when they meet in the ring in June. In an interview, Haney said, I think Tank beats him. We haven't seen Frank Martin at the highest level, at the elite level. We just haven't seen each other from that performance against Artem Hunan. It was clear that Martin wasn't ready for elite level competition. No, I think that Tank beats him. I mean, if we haven't seen Frank Martin at the highest level, the elite level, in another state, Haney said, do I think Martin is going to go in there and lay down? No, I think he'll go in there and try to get his respect, and he will fight back. But I think Tank has the experience and skills and will be victorious the highest level, their elite level. Not saying that he's not elite, but we just haven't seen him from the previous fights that Martin had participated in. It was clear that he was over-muscled and emphasized too much on weight training in most of his fight preparations. His overreaction to the skills that Tank Davis used his training in the footage was an awakening call for Martin, as he seemed to have been implying the wrong methods for the preparation. Some cling that damn clinching, we in there tussling. And __. He show clinching, he is show the punch that he got H. With he show clinching, it was clear that chances of him winning were very minimal, having in mind the fight would happen in only a few weeks to come. Haney explained that, but will it be easy? I can't say. Do I think that Frank Martin will go in there and show that he's a contender? The answer is yes. Ahead of the upcoming fight, Frank Martin's promoter, Errol Spencer, was interviewed in his thoughts about the match and the possible outcome. See him getting his hand raised. I mean, I feel like he's the most skilled, talented fighter. Day. In the interview, Errol Spencer back his fighter Frank Martin, who has an undefeated personal record of 18 wins in 18 fights, including 12 knockout victories, to upset World Boxing Association regular lightweight champion Gervonta Davis on June 15th. In their headliner on PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, truly boxing fans aren't giving Martin much chance due to his struggle in his last fight against Artem Union and his lack of comparable victories. The most skilled, talented fighter that Tank, what he does have is power, and he's hungry, ready to topple the ring rusty Baltimore native Tank, who has been on an extended victory lap enjoying the praise from his 7th-round knockout victory over Instagram star Ryan Garcia. With Tank Davis's 14 months out of the ring, it's difficult to know for sure how he'll look against Martin. Every fall, like it's one of those he can't take those early rounds off, and feel like he's going to come in a 7-8 round. Martin will be coming full throttle on June 15th, pushing a fast pace and looking to win the early rounds to build up an insurmountable lead against the notoriously slow starter. I see him getting his hand raised. I feel he's the most skilled, talented fighter that Tank ever fought, said Errol Spence during Instagram Live, talking about his fighter Frank Martin, poised to upset WBA regular lightweight champion Von Davis on June 15th in their fight at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas in a 7-8 round, and hope for a knockout. While boxing analysts aren't saying the same, as many think Martin will only win this fight if he focuses on volume punching and puts power on his shots. Tank has shown that he's vulnerable against fighters who throw a lot of punches, and that's not Martin's style.